Conference by the Publicity Department of the CPC Central Committee. Today's press conference is the 16th of the China in the Past Decade series. We have invited Mr. Tong Jianming, who is the Executive Deputy Procurator General of the Supreme People's Procuratorate. He will brief us about the progress of the procuratorial work in the new era and take your questions. Also present at the press conference today are Mr. Zhang Xiaojing, who is Chief of the 4th Procurator's Office, Mr. Hu Weilie, who is Chief of the 8th Procurator's Office, and Mr. Gao Jingfeng, who is Director of the Legal Policy Research Office. I now give the floor to Mr. Tong Jianming. Friends from the media, good morning. I'm very glad to take part in this press conference hosted by the Publicity Department of the CPC Central Committee as part of the China in the Past Decade series. First of all, on behalf of the Supreme People's Procuratorate, I wish to extend my appreciation to all of you for your support for the procuratorial work. Since the 18th CPC National Congress, the CPC Central Committee, with Comrade Xi Jinping at its core, attached great importance to legal supervision by procuratorials. General Secretary Xi Jinping gave a series of important instructions pointing the way for the procuratorial work in the new era. Under the strong leadership of the CPC Central Committee, the Procuratorial has placed its work under the guidance of the Xi Jinping thought on socialism with China's characteristics for a new era, especially Xi Jinping thought on the rule of law, keenly appreciated the decisive significance of the two establishes, enhanced for consciousness, firmed up for confidences, and acted on to upholds. We acted earnestly to implement the CPC Central Committee's guidelines on legal supervision by procuratorial bodies in the new era, keeping in mind the political guidance, the greater goal of national development, and the need to strengthen supervision. We actively exercised our 4 major functions regarding criminal, civil, administrative, and public interest litigations, providing a strong judicial safeguard for high-quality economic and social development. Our work is focused mainly on the following 5 aspects. First, bearing in mind both development and security, and serving the overarching tasks of the party and the country. The Procuratorial takes it as its mission to serve high-quality economic and social development. We have brought criminal offenders to justice following a holistic approach to national security and created a stable social environment for national development. From 2013 to June this year, we have approved 8.58 million arrests, prosecuted 14.9 million persons, and carried out a 3-year special campaign on fighting organized and violent crimes, not letting loose a single gang criminal and not putting anyone innocent in the wrong. Throughout the campaign, we have prosecuted 230,000 gang-related criminals and 2,987 patrons. With unrelenting efforts, the party has led the people in sustaining rapid economic development and long-term social stability. From 2013 to 2021, the Procuratorial has reduced the number of serious violent crimes prosecuted from 108,000 to 59,000, and the proportion of criminals sentenced to 3 and more years in prison has been reduced from 23.8% to 19.6%. Given the notable change in the crime structure, we have exercised the policy of prudence in arrests, prosecutions, and custody. The ratios of criminal cases without arrest and without prosecution has climbed from 17.9% and 4.9% in 2013 to 39.2% and 23.5% in the first half of this year. The ratio of pre-prosecution custody has fallen from 61.1% in 2013 to 32.7% in the first half of this year. marking a notable progress in judicial conduct. We utilize the procuratorial functions to foster a business environment better governed by law. We have stepped up sanctions on economic crimes. From 2013 to June this year, we have charged 1.03 million persons with crimes of undermining the order of market economy. We've also protected intellectual property rights in an all-round way by overseeing criminal, civil, and administrative proceedings altogether to serve innovation-driven development. In 2021, we charged 14,000 persons with IPR infringements, increasing by 59.3% from 2013. We established an office in the China Securities Regulatory Commission to help the sound development of the capital market. We carried out an enterprise compliance reform pilot program. While trying to use criminal penalties as little as possible, we urge the companies in question to make compliance commitments and rectify misconducts. With such compliance recommendations and strict oversight at the same time, a number of companies involved have transformed themselves and embarked on a journey of legal and compliant operations. Second, putting the people front and center and tackling issues that most concern the people. Every case that directly concerns the people is handled with utmost care. This is our mission and responsibility. At the National Two Sessions in 2019, the Supreme People's Procuratorate made a promise that petitioners will receive a procedural reply within 7 days and reply on the handling progress or result within 3 months. By June this year, the Procuratorials have received a total of 3.15 million letters and visits from the people and have sent replies to 95% of visitors. We have earnestly implemented the law on protecting the minors and exercised zero tolerance on infringements in this area. From 2018 to June this year, we have charged 256,000 people. Such protective mechanisms, such as mandatory reporting of mistreatment of minors, established in collaboration with the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Public Security, have now been codified. Third, working hard to make the people feel the presence of justice in every judicial case. On criminal oversight, we have advanced the arrest prosecution integrated mechanism for investigation supervision to enhance the efficiency and quality of case handling. Realizing that there is this problem of sentence not served and pay to get early release that may exist in some prisons and detention centers, we established a circuit procuratorial inspection system to ensure fairness and justice in prisons and detention centers. On civil proceedings oversight, we have focused on handling well the representative cases that have a guiding significance for economic and social development. From 2013 to June this year, we have protested 41,000 cases of civil judgments that are deemed erroneous and lodged protests on 1,762 administrative judgments deemed erroneous. We have also worked on resolving administrative disputes. From 2019 to June this year, we have resolved 21,000 administrative disputes, including 1,258 disputes that have lasted for more than 10 years. We have stepped up our efforts on public interest litigation. In 2021, we have docketed 169,000 cases, which is 1.5 times than that in 2018. 98% of administrative public interest litigation procuratorial suggestions have been effectively implemented before litigation. The China solution on public interest judicial protection has been continuously improved. Fourth, deepening judicial system reform and improving the socialist procuratorial system with Chinese characteristics. Focusing on judicial accountability, we have deepened reforms on the category-based management of procurators and procurator accountability system. Realizing that the repeated procedures in some cases have added burdens to the people, we have put in place a case file ratio evaluation indicator to urge our procurators to pursue maximum efficiency. This indicator has been compared to the green GDP index in the judicial system. Fifth, continuing to strengthen our system and ensuring sustainable development of the procuratorial team. We have conducted party history learning, procuratorial team education and rectification, and carried out integrated training on political integrity and operational skills. In order to foster a culture of integrity in the judicial system, we focused our efforts on preventing interference in the judicial process and made unrelenting efforts to keep case investigations free from the influence of personal connections and bribery. On our journey ahead, the procuratorials will continue to follow the guidance of Xi Jinping thought on the rule of law, earnestly implement the CPC Central Committee's guidelines, and act on a people-centered approach to development. We will continue to strengthen our ability of legal supervision and make new contributions to building a modern socialist country in all respects and contribute to the successful convening of the 20th CPC National Congress with real action. Such is my opening briefing. I now would like to take your questions together with my colleagues. Thank you. The floor is now open for questions. Please identify your media affiliation before asking your question. Thank you. Since the 18th CPC National Congress, the CPC Central Committee attaches great importance to the political and legal affairs. In June 2021, the CPC Central Committee released the guidelines on strengthening legal supervision by procuratorials in the new era. My question is, how did the procuratorials implement these guidelines, and what have you done to advance legal supervision work in the new era? Thank you.
Thank you for your question, and I will take your question. Last year, upon the eve of the centenary of the CPC Central Committee issued the opinions on strengthening legal oversight of the procuratorial organs in the new era as a document of the CPC Central Committee. It fully speaks to the CPC Central Committee's commitment to law-based governance and our high attention to improving legal supervision by procuratorial organs. The opinions is a manifestation of Xi Jinping thought on the rule of law. Regarding our work on legal oversight, it is also a guiding document for our work in this current period and the times to come. At the outset, the opinions stated that people's procuratorials are legal oversight organs of the country, judicial bodies, ensuring uniform and correct implementation of the country's laws, and forces for national and social interests. It has spelled out the mandates of legal oversight of procuratorials in the new era. It has also listed specific requirements for procuratorials to serve the larger picture, the people's judiciary, and to elevate the quality and effectiveness of legal oversight. It has also identified requirements for us to build a stronger team and for providing organizational safeguards for legal oversight. There are 19 requirements in total. Over the past year, the Supreme People's Procuratorate has always taken implementation of the opinions as an important legal task, focusing on 5 areas. First, upholding the party's leadership and in implementation. We would report on a voluntary basis to the Party Committee's Political and Legal Affairs Committee to integrate the opinions into the work of the party committees. As many as 29 provincial party committees have rolled out implementation opinions to provide strong guidance and support for our procuratorial mandates. Second, we have specified the specific measures. We have identified 54 missions and 222 measures to address choking points and pain points in our work through bi-monthly seminar discussions. Third, we have tried to enlist the help of other legal and political affairs departments to solve difficult problems in our work. We have worked with the Ministry of Public Security to issue guidelines and set up a special office to seek preventative oversight, and have also established an information sharing mechanism on the execution of civil litigation and legal oversight with the People's Court. And fourth, we have focused on improvement in the effectiveness of legal oversight. We have identified a refocus of our work on improving quality, effectiveness, and efficacy of our work. And fifth, we have worked to consolidate legal level work. Last year, we have identified 129 relatively weaker procuratoriates to provide targeted assistance. 82 of them have become better and improved. Implementation of the opinions is an important long-term political task. We will strengthen our awareness for political integrity, legal oversight, and procuratory work. We will integrate the implementation of these requirements into our work to play a bigger role in legal oversight and promote modernization of the country's governance system and capacity. Next question, please. China Media Group. In the new era, new dimensions have emerged for the concept of safety, and the people have higher needs for safety. Since the 18th Party Congress, how has the Procuratoriates, based on its keen understanding of coordinating development and safety, worked to promote national security and public security? And what have you done to meet the higher needs of safety of the people?
Thank you for your question. I will give the floor to Mr. Zhang Xiaojing, who will take your question. He's now in charge of the 4th Procurator's Office. Security is the prerequisite for development, and development is a safeguard for security. Since the 18th Party Congress, the Procuratoriates has followed a people-centered approach and worked with a greater political responsibility and work requirements to uphold national security, social stability, and people's safety. On the one hand, following a holistic approach to national security, we have firmly and resolutely cracked down on crimes that undermines national political security, systemic security, economic security, cybersecurity, and public security, and taken a multi-pronged approach to prevent and resolve various risks and challenges that may affect economic and social development. At the same time, we have instituted both tough and lenient criminal sanctions, exercised the prudence in arrests, prosecutions, and custody to reduce social tensions to the minimum and ensure sustained social stability. To build a safe China requires a well-established and efficient enforcement judicial system. In November 2021, the Supreme People's Procuratorate and the Ministry of Public Security jointly released guidelines on investigation oversight and collaboration mechanisms. The procuratoriats at various levels and public security authorities have built investigation oversight and collaboration offices together that covers all cities and counties. By working together in enforcement and justice, in the first half of this year, the procuratoriats docketed 87.1% of all oversight cases, withdrawn 95.9% of the docketed cases, and their written advice have been adopted in 97.3% of all the cases. With closer cooperation between the procuratoriats and police authorities, case handling has been much more efficient. One case speaks louder than a pile of documents. To build a safe China, we have focused on releasing guiding cases. From 2019 to 2021, the Supreme People's Procuratorate released 44 guiding cases on criminal proceedings oversight, which increased by 1.83% than the previous 3 years, and we released 490 typical cases. On your second question, the higher needs of the people for safety is what we strive to meet. Our work to pursue excellence and maximum performance is to ensure a greater sense of security among the people. First, in the 3-year campaign against organized crime, we have investigated and handled the Sun Xiaoguo case in Yunnan, playground burial case in Yunnan, and the playground burial case in Hunan, and Huang Hongfa case in Hainan, as well as several hundred other complex cases involving organized crime, dealing an effective deterrence to these groups. Secondly, we have resolutely cracked down on crimes and group crimes that undermine the sense of security among the people, including those, especially those with vicious intentions and serious circumstances, so as to firmly uphold public security and social stability. Third, we have punished illegal fundraising, telefraud and pensions fraud and other similar crimes. From 2019 to 2021, we prosecuted 206,000 persons, forming a strong deterrence. We also urge the persons involved in the cases to return the illegal assets and reduce the loss for the people. Since the 18th CPC National Congress, the Central Committee has made important plans for comprehensively deepening the judicial system. So what has the procurates have done in such reforms, and what effects have been achieved? Thank you.
Thank you for your question. The judicial accountability system reform is fundamental in our judicial system reform. It is also the fulcrum of our work. Since the 18th Party Congress, the Supreme People's Procuratorate has worked to further consolidate reform measures, including category-based management of procurators and case accountability. We have worked to codify outcomes from the judicial accountability system reform. Such measures have been written into the organic law of People's Procuratorate and Procurators' law. At the same time, for the implementation of these two sets of laws, we have rolled out systems on the selection, quitting, assessment, accountability, and punishment of procurators. A supporting system can be said to have been formed. We have been earnestly implementing all these mechanisms to promote the functioning of judicial case handling mechanism and bring vitality in our work. First, a benign cycle has been formed in our team building. We have set quotas for senior procurators and set up regularized selection of procurators. As of June 2022, 69,000 procurators have been selected across the country, and we have also been implementing a competition system. Since 2018, due to pressure from work and assessment and due to personal reasons, more than 1,300 procurators have quit on their own initiative, and 440 of them have quit due to disqualification in assessment. Second, judicial case handlers have been playing a stronger role. The reform advocates accountability with the case handler and decision makers. We have used a list format to identify the mandates of procurators, chief procurators, and the procuratorial committees. They have exercised their mandates and played stronger responsibilities within their mandate and in accordance with law, and they have shown stronger initiative and sense of responsibility. Cases were handled with greater efficiency and effectiveness. While delegating power, we also focused on oversight by specifying rules on case handling of criminal, civil, administrative, and pro bono litigation. We have worked to improve the just, regulated, and effective exercise of procuratorial power. Third, we have given full play to the lead role of senior procurators. They are a key minority who must play an important role, and we have issued a specialized opinion on that. We have set strict bar on the types, numbers, and standards for promotion to senior positions. And we stress that dossier reading is a must, and set up mechanisms for the case handling of people in senior positions. From 2019 to 2021, a total of 1.88 million cases were handled by senior procurators across the country, accounting for 18.8% of all cases across the country. Fourth, we have worked to further implement accountability of wrongful convictions. The leading party group of the Supreme People's Procuratorate identified that rectification must not stop at state compensations. Individuals must be held accountable. In 2021, by fully combing through wrongful convictions and retrials of criminal convictions since 2018, 246 of them were handled. 22 of them are directly overseen by us, which involve a sentence up to 10 years in prison to fully seek accountability. Moving forward, we will work to further consolidate the outcomes from the judicial accountability system reform to ensure accountability of procurators. The next question, please. Thank you. From People's Daily. The society attaches great importance to the protection of minors. In 2018, you have set up a specialized office for it. What are some new outcomes since its implementation 4 years ago, and how will you work to protect the minors better? Thank you for your question. I have been tasked with the work at the 9th Procuratorial Office for Minors Protection. The party and the country always take seriously healthy growth of the minors. Since the 18th Party Congress, General Secretary Xi Jinping has made many important instructions stressing that the whole society must understand, respect, care for, and serve the growth of minors. We must protect a sound social environment for their development. Our presence can be seen throughout the entire judicial protection process for minors. We've also set up a dedicated organ for the protection of minors. It also means stronger responsibilities. We've come to understand more deeply that protection of minors is a sacred cause. We do the work now, future generations will enjoy the benefits from our work. It cannot be stressed strong enough. Today, I would like to brief you on our work regarding the protection of minors with 3 keywords. First, two-way protection. When we handle cases, we do our best to both educate and save juvies. We also do our best to help and save the underage victims. So we would do our work to protect both the juvies and the underage victims. So that's why we call it two-way protection. For juvies with less malign intentions and less serious circumstances, we would be very prudent with arrest, prosecution, and custody. In H1 this year, 63.4%, 45.3% of juvies were not arrested, prosecuted, and 36.8% are unprosecuted conditionally. They have risen by 28.9%, 30.9, and 24.4 percentage points compared with the same period in 2018. In the meantime, we would also give sentences in accordance with law in a strict manner for those juvies with serious crimes. In H1 2018, we have indicted 460,000 of these people. And to fully protect the legitimate rights and interests of underage victims, we have rolled out opinions on assistance for them and set up 1,600 plus one-stop service stations together with the Ministry of Public Security to prevent secondary damage in inquiry and deposition. The second keyword is comprehensive protection. There are complex reasons behind juvie cases. Usually, it would involve lack of protection of the legitimate rights and interests of the underage, including civil and administrative rights. Last year, the Supreme People's Procuratorate have started centralized handling of criminal, civil, administrative, and pro bono litigation services for minors. We have integrated procuratorial mandates to improve the quality and effectiveness of protection for minors. For instance, we found the phenomenon of tattooing to be very prevalent among the minors as we handle criminal cases. And we have used pro bono litigation to prohibit such behavior. And we have also submitted a special report to the leading group on the protection of minors of the State Council. The leading group takes it very seriously and have issued guidelines on the regulation of underage tattooing together with other competent authorities to address the problem from the roots. The third keyword is protection by 6 entities. The newly advised law on the protection of minors has set up a 6-pronged protection approach for minors featuring family, school, society, network, government, and the judiciary. And we have been fulfilling our legal oversight mandates to catalyze chemistry among the 6 prongs and foster greater synergy so as to improve the protection for minors. For instance, on campus security, since 2018, the Supreme People's Procuratorate has sent out, in conjunction with the Ministry of Education, Procuratorial Advice number 1 to follow through on its implementation. In H1 this year, the percentage of indicted campus violence and bullying cases fell by 84.6% compared with the same period in 2018. We have been following through on the implementation of compulsory reporting and admission review. Through that, a total of 2,800 cases on infringement of minors' rights have been handled. We have run 7.4 million admission reviews on people who work in trades closely related with minors, and dismissed 2,900 people with bad track records. That means we have successfully blocked a lot of harmful people in trades who work closely with the minors to protect the youth. In October this year, the National People's Congress Standing Committee heard our special report on procuratorial work related to the minors. We will take that as an opportunity to implement well the two laws on the protection of minors, integrate the 6 prudence, and ensure the healthy development of the young people. The floor is open for more questions. In recent years, pro bono litigation has attracted a lot of attention from the society. Since its implementation in 2018, what have you done and what are some features? Thank you for your question.
Mr. Huilie will take your question. Thank you and other friends from the media for your interest in public interest litigation over the years. Indeed, this is decided and planned by the CPC Central Committee and General Secretary Xi Jinping himself. The General Secretary pointed out that procurators, as representatives of public interests, shoulder important responsibilities. He also said that China's procuratorial authorities are an important force that protects national security and public interests. In October 2014, the fourth plenum of the 18th CPC Central Committee decided to explore the establishment of a public interest litigation system by the procuratorials, which opened the curtains of reform. With the authorization of the NPC Standing Committee, the SPP conducted a 2-year productive pilot program in some regions. On 1st of July 2017, the 28th meeting of the 12th NPC Standing Committee amended the Civil Litigation Law and Administrative Litigation Law, which has come into effect and established the public interest litigation system for procuratorials. Over the past 5 years, we have kept firmly in mind General Secretary Xi Jinping's instructions and adopted a people-centered approach to improve the quality of public interest litigations. In total, we initiated 670,000 such cases. Through these case handling, 7.86 million more of damaged farmlands, forests, wetlands, and grasslands have been recovered. 45.84 million tons of garbage and solid wastes have been cleaned. 9.35 billion yuan of compensation have been recovered for ecological restoration. 1.82 million kilograms of counterfeit food products and 60,000 kilograms of fake and smuggled drugs have been disposed of or called back. About 15.95 billion yuan of national assets and rights have been recovered and protected. 33.72 billion yuan of due transfer fee of state-owned land has been recovered. From these achievements, we can see that our practice has demonstrated the systemic strength of socialism with Chinese characteristics and the CPC's leadership. It also manifests the following features. First, with a people-centered approach, we focused on resolving the people's concerns. The SPP has carried out a series of campaigns to ensure food safety, protect people's lives, and crack tough cases that long concern the people. These are all focused on issues that concern the people the most. Secondly, we work to improve legislation and enhance the rule of law. from the civil litigation law, administrative litigation law, to the organic law on people's procuratoriates and the law on procurators, and then to the law on protecting martyrs, the law on protecting the minors, the law on safe production, the law on protecting the status and rights of servicemen and women, the law on protecting personal information, and anti-monopoly law. A series of laws have been amended or promulgated. By initiating judicial interpretations and formulating case-handling rules, we have helped improve and enrich the system of public interest legal framework. Thirdly, working together with other parties to protect the public interests, demonstrating our systemic strength. We worked with other authorities to build a government better governed by law and formed great synergy in protecting public interests. Fourth, by putting in place supporting mechanisms, we have enhanced the efficacy of this work. For example, we have put in place the trans-regional collaboration mechanism and adopted the use of satellite remote sensing, drones, big data, and rapid testing to better support our investigation. We have also enhanced public participation in the forms of roundtable meetings and hearings, which have also improved the credibility and efficacy of public interest litigations. Thank you. Next question, please. Changjiang Daily. The Supreme People's Procuratorials and the Procuratorials at various other levels have handled a big number of public interest litigations. Why does the Procuratorials have to directly handle such cases, and what are the effects from such cases? In the last couple of years, the Supreme People's Procuratorials and local procuratoriates have implemented the instructions of the CPC Central Committee and worked on a number of tough cases directly. You are working for the Yangtze River Daily. Actually, the public litigation cases involve a lot of tough, challenging cases that are hard to be handled by local procuratoriates, and that's why the higher level procuratorate will step in and work on these cases. In 2021, the procuratoriates at both the supreme and local levels handled 110 such cases and helped increase the efficacy of national governance and ensured high-quality development. These cases mainly involve the major complex cases in national or provincial level, and the subjects of supervision and oversight are mainly of higher levels. For example, the Wanfeng Lake and Nansi Lake region, which have seen its ecological environment damaged, was directly handled by the Supreme People's Procuratorate. On the Nansi Lake case, the river basin involves 4 provinces, including Shandong, Jiangsu, Henan, and Anhui. It is highly complex and hard to be managed by one province alone. The special case team from the Supreme People's Procuratoriates focused on the pollution treatment standards of different parts of the river basin, worked on 205 cases, and helped the whole region to turn around the situation in pollution management. In this overall case, the Supreme People's Procuratorate have not only dealt with the long-standing pollution problem involving the aquatic farming, but also extended its function to collaborate with departments of ecology, water conservatory, and agricultural and rural affairs, and to help alleviate poverty and turn environmental treatment into economic benefits. From these outcomes, we can see that directly handling such cases by Supreme People's Procuratoriates and Provincial Procuratoriates have its unique strengths and advantages. Each level has its own advantage. Higher-level procuratoriates can have more in-depth studies and strong supervision. Lower-level procuratoriates are closer to the reality on the ground and can better come up with solutions to address the real problems. Secondly, we can better promote systemic governance. Procuratoriates' work is not a lone wolf fight, but aims at win-win and all-win results. We would like to help improve the efficacy of administrative oversight, strengthen the oversight results, and better form synergy for public interest protection. Thirdly, we have worked to enhance the overall capability of case handling. Higher-level procurators can better understand the difficulties of lower-level procuratoriates and make their guidance more targeted and effective. Lower-level procurators can improve their capabilities when working together with procurators of higher levels so that they can improve their professional skills and work better in the future. Thank you. Market entity is an important force for the economy. Since the 18th CPC National Congress, General Secretary Xi Jinping has placed high importance on the growth and development of enterprises and aimed to build an internationalized and market-oriented business environment that is governed by law. What has the Procuratoriates done to protect the lawful rights and interests of enterprises and foster a law-based business environment? Thank you.
I'd like to give the floor to Mr. Zhang Xiaojing. As you've just noted, General Secretary Xi Jinping cares greatly about the development of businesses. He made the penetrating observation that the rule of law is the best business environment. To build a better law-based business environment is the responsibility of us procuratoriates. In recent years, we have followed the new development philosophy and taken multiple measures to ensure equal protection of all businesses. First, we have rolled out regulatory documents to ensure the legitimate rights and interests of businesses. We have rolled out many opinions and measures, including promotion of the healthy development of private businesses, ensuring property rights, and building an enabling business environment for innovation and startups. We have also issued 11 pieces of standards on the handling of cases related to private businesses. And second, we have lawfully and prudently handled crimes related to private businesses. On the one hand, we cracked down on offenses that would impede the development of private businesses, infringe on entrepreneurs' rights to property, innovation, and operation. We have cracked down on offenses of embezzlement, misappropriation, and infringement on IPR, and we have also penalized crimes related to gangs involved in usury, bullying other businesses, commandeering projects, interference in civil disputes, or use of other means to profit illegally and dampen business environment. On the other hand, we have also taken into consideration the development of businesses in handling cases related to their management and technicians. We are prudent with arrest, prosecution, and custody, and we would make as little arrest, prosecution, and sentences as the law finds appropriate. We're also prudent with measures including shutdown, sequester, and freezing of assets. Third, we have deepened oversight on litigation related to businesses. On some long-held cases which should have been closed, we have also handled them, and we have rooted out 9,815 cases together with the Ministry of Public Security, where there's a lack of evidence or where nothing is found, and we have dismissed those cases. In recent years, we have also worked with other competent authorities to pilot oversight programs, allowing some entities under community correction to travel to other places for business operations. We have also piloted reform on compliance reform in certain localities. While exercising prudence in our policy, we have also urged businesses in question to make compliance commitments and act upon them so that they would operate lawfully. In 2021 and the year before, the Supreme People's Procuratorate piloted 2 programs on reform. In April this year, we have launched a reform pilot program more comprehensively. So far, we have worked with SASAC and ACFIC and other competent authorities, 12 in total, to set up a third-party oversight evaluation system to create synergy with third parties in our oversight. As of June this year, we have handled a total of 2,382 compliance cases. 1,584 of them are handled by third-party mechanisms, 606 businesses and 1,159 individuals who have become compliant after rectification are not indicted. And we have made the decision to not indict businesses which were involved or suspected of crimes but have been rectified to become compliant after assessment. And that has helped promote 100 million yuan in investment and created 100+ jobs. Recently, the speaker just mentioned the policy of prudence with arrest, prosecution, and custody, and leniency given confession or plead. So what is the significance and background of it, and how do you take grasp of it in your work? With the development of economy and society, there are changes in China's criminal structures. Serious violent crimes involving robbery and murder declined. DUI and crimes disrupting market order are on the rise. Light crimes with less than 3 years sentence or crimes that were not indicted reached 90%. And the applicability of prudence and leniency reached 90% in all cases. If we find the criminals to be less harmful to the society, then there's no need to take them into custody before trial. Facing such changes, the philosophy and policy of procuratorial work should also adapt. In such a context, the 4th plenum of the 18th CPC Central Committee, after identifying the reform for leniency, identified the criminal justice reform on less arrest and prudence with prosecution and custody. To further strengthen modernization of China's governance capacity, integrating all these approaches, great outcomes have been achieved. Today, only 0.046% of people involved under prudence with arrest, prosecution, and custody would appeal, lower than other criminal cases by 6.45 percentage points. Percentage of remand in custody dropped from 91.4% 20 years ago to 59.3% 2 years ago to 32.7% June this year. Leniency and prudence does not mean no arrest or prudence or prosecution or custody. While coordinating and striking a balance between leniency and strictness, we take into account individuality and public opinion. We would handle cases as strictly and leniently as the law finds necessary. On cases that threaten national security and public security, crimes that involve violent and criminal gang behaviors, victimize women, children, elderly, the disabled, and other vulnerable groups, or other very malign and egregious crimes, we would handle them very strictly. Arrests, prosecution, and crackdown will not be lenient. And we also act strictly in serious circumstances of light offenses. Suspects of light offenses who don't have to be brought in can be tracked with monitor bracelets, big data, and other technologies. The next question, please. Thank you. I'm with Restar News. My question is, Procuratorial Advice number 8 is issued this year and has drawn a lot of attention. What role have you played in promoting the rightful implementation of law and social governance? Thank you for your question. Procuratorial is an important oversight mandate of the procuratorates. Since 2018, to follow through on the remarks by General Secretary Xi Jinping and to focus both on addressing what has happened and preventing what will happen, we have exercised our procuratorial mandates in accordance with law, focusing on salient issues including campus safety, service of judicial documents, financial regulation, management of manhole, false suits, cyberspace governance, and courier safety. We have issued Procuratorial Advice 128 in conjunction with competent authorities, and we would continue to work on their implementation together with other competent authorities to ensure that there are legal safeguards for the modernization of social governance. First, we have shifted from our ambit to everyone's ambit for joint governance. For instance, after Procuratorial Advice number 1 was issued, we have issued, together with the ACWF and other competent authorities, opinions on guiding family education in handling cases involving minors. To promote the use of order of guardianship, we have worked with the China Communist Youth League Central Committee to pilot demonstration projects on procuratorial social support system in 80 localities. We have worked with the Ministry of Education to issue regulations on procurators taking up vice principalship for legal education to ensure protection of all 6 prongs. Second, we have focused on preventative measures to address root causes. For instance, in light of lack of regulation regarding the courier services, we have issued Procuratorial Advice number 7 and issued working plan on improving the security of delivery channels together with the State Post Bureau, and carried out a special campaign with the Ministry of Public Security and the State Post Bureau. From October 2021 to May 2022, a total of 2,100 cases involving delivery of drugs, firearms, explosives, and wildlife products have been cracked. We have worked with postal, public security, and other authorities in Jiangsu, Hubei, and Yunnan to set up a joint mechanism to cut off circulation of prohibited items and prevent illegal transportation of prohibited items via courier service. Third, we have adopted a systematic approach to governance. For instance, we take the implementation of advice number 4 for plugging loopholes in security in the management of manhole covers as a fulcrum to improve general public security governance. A 3-year campaign on urban road and pipeline manhole security has been carried out by the Tianjin procuratorates. In Shanghai and Jiangsu, procuratorials issued opinions on building mechanisms to align criminal and pro bono litigation on public security and improved lead sharing mechanism on urban public security. Moving forward, we will work to make turn these advice into action and improve governance of litigation at their roots. One final question. Thank you. Some people say that the judiciary is the last line of defense for social fairness and justice, and the prosecutors are the most important bastion on this line of defense. What have you done to improve your team building, and what have you done to promote social fairness and justice?
As you said, the judiciary is the last line of defense for social equity and justice. And to fulfill this mission, the quality and competence of procurators are of utmost importance. General Secretary Xi Jinping pointed out that to advance the law-based governance in all respects, it is vital to build a high-quality, competent rule of law team. The Supreme People's Procuratorate has always placed the building of a high-quality, competent procurators team as a high priority of its work. And in this endeavor, we have sought to enhance the political integrity, operational competence, and professional ethics of procurators. Firstly, we focused on both political integrity and professional competence. Political integrity is the most fundamental and premier quality necessary for procurators. We have continued to educate our procurators with Xi Jinping thought on socialism with China's characteristics for a new era, carried out campaigns on staying true to original aspiration and mission, and party history learning to ensure that our procurators are absolutely loyal, pure, and reliable. To enhance professional competence from the political perspective, we have compiled a series of textbooks on discharging of duty by procurators under the guidance of Xi Jinping thought on the rule of law, organized joint trainings for more than 388,000 procurators, judges, and police officers. In this way, we have updated the skill sets and enhanced the ability to discharge the duties for our judicial system. Second, we have worked to both enhance fundamental skills and use new technologies to enhance our capabilities. As I mentioned in the opening remarks, we have established a case-to-file ratio as an evaluation standard. This is to promote and enhance the legal supervision capabilities of procurators by asking them to pursue utmost excellence and voluntarily serve the larger picture and work for the people. At the same time, we work to adapt to the digitalization era and adopt big data strategies, which means using big data to build smart supervision capabilities. By utilizing the digital revolution, we have worked to upgrade the quality and efficiency of legal supervision. Thirdly, we adhere to the principle of protecting our procurators with close scrutiny. As a legal supervision body, the procuratorials must be able to conduct self-oversight. We have continued our reform on the operational mechanism of procuratorial powers, established the rules for our four major functions, including criminal, civil, administrative, and public interest litigation oversight. We have delivered on a list of procuratorial powers to ensure its law-based exercise. We have also implemented an accountability system. We launched accountability investigation on 246 erroneous criminal cases that have been addressed since 2018 and held 511 procurators accountable. This is real work, real punishment, because these procurators include those who have retired for more than a decade. We have always adopted a tough attitude in this work and enhanced education and rectification in the procuratorial team. We have conducted 7 rounds of circuit inspection that covers all procurators and focused on implementing the 3 regulations on avoiding interference in the judicial process to ensure that our officials dare not, cannot, and will not be corrupt at all times. Building a high-quality procuratorial team is always an ongoing task. We will continue to strengthen political integrity, professional skills, sense of responsibility, discipline, and conduct as instructed by General Secretary Xi Jinping, and strive to build a loyal, clean, and responsible procuratorial team. Thank you. Thank you all for coming to the press conference today, and that concludes